guys, welcome to iTutor Academy. In today's session, we will start with Unit 11 of MMPC 001, that is Organization Communication Process. Okay, what are the objectives of this chapter? The meaning and purpose of communication. The process of communication. Communication is very important in a business organization, right? And the media and the channel of organizational communication, and the intention or unintentional barriers that prevent organizational communication to be effective. What a manager should do to make his communication effective. These are the objectives of this unit. And what are the structure? First one is communication and its meaning and purpose. Second is importance of communication. And third one is communication process. In today's session, we will discuss these three: meaning and its purpose, importance of communication, and communication process. And next video onwards, we will start with verbal and non-verbal communication, channels of communication, barriers to communication, making communication effective, summary, and self-assessment test is there. Okay. And let's start the communication and its meaning and purpose. Okay, what is communication? Communication refers to sharing of ideas, facts, opinion, information, and understanding. Simply stated, communication can be said to be the passing of information and understanding from one person to another. It will be seen that there are at least three elements involved here: the sender at one end and the receiver at the other. And in between is the message or information that is to be passed on from one end to other. The information is passed from the sender to the receiver, and the knowledge of its effect is passed from the receiver to the sender in the form of feedback. Whether the effect produced is the desired one will be depend upon how well the receiver understands the meaning of the information. Communication can therefore be aptly said to be the transmission of meaning. And the second is importance. What is the importance of communication? One of the important role of manager is the informational role, wherein a manager seeks information from his peer, subordinates, and other about anything relating to their jobs and responsibilities. At the same time, a disseminator of information about the job and the organization to those who are concerned with it. As such, a considerable part of time is devoted to receiving or disseminating information in communication inside or outside the organization. Some of the studies made in the USA show that between 40 to 60% of the work time in a typical manufacturing plant is involved in some phase of communication. According to Peter Drucker, good communication is the foundation for sound management, right? So communication is very important in any of the system. The managerial function of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling depend on communication in an enterprises. For planning to be realistic, it is essential that it is based on sound information, which is not possible without a good system of communication existing in an enterprises. The latest development in the market may not be communicated to the planner, making their future plan totally meaningless. Adaptation to external environment on which rests the survival of the business may not be possible without a good communication. Again, in order to reach the objective, it is necessary that leadership is exercised, decisions made, effort coordinated, people motivated, and operation controlled. Each of these functions involves interaction with the people in the organization and leads to communication. The important fact of organizational life for a manager is communication, and success will depend upon how effectively one can communicate with the others in the organization. In other words, how successfully one can put ideas across to those who work with and thereby persuade others to work in the direction of the achievement of goals of the organization. Okay, there is one example also, you just go through that. And next one is communication process. The communication process is start with the send the message to receiver. This is the simple form of communication process. The simplest and modest communication process can be sender, message, receiver is there. The model indicates the essential element of communication. The sender and the receiver is the एक आदमी होना चाहिए मैसेज सेंड करने के लिए, एक आदमी होना चाहिए रिसीव करने के लिए, राइट? एंड मैसेज दैट इज एक्सचेंज बिटवीन them. If one of the three element is missing, communication does not take place, right? So however, the process of communication is a much more complex phenomena consisting of at least 5 elements which are subject to various influences. The model can be put, this is the model of communication process. We shall be briefly what the various elements of the model. Receiving response is there. So this is here, it's a starting source. This is the sender, okay, and it's encode the message, then channel is here, then it's decode, then understanding by the receiver. So आदमी के पास पहुंच गया. After that एक reply होना चाहिए. Response transmission is there. It again it encoding, and there is a channel for that, that is the noise. Noise is the channel, and then it decoding and receive the response, and then it's a circle. Okay, this is the model of communication process. So source. In this model, the first element is the source of communication, from where the communication originates. That is the sender here. Okay, कहाँ से भेजते हैं मैसेज, वो ये है. The source or sender can be a person, a number of person, or even a machine. The sender initiate communication because there is a need, thought, idea, or information that wishes to convey to the other person or machine. If for example an accidental fire has broken out in a part of godown of the factory, the security officer, that is the source, will need to convey the message immediately to the fire station. Okay, fire station is the receiver. This is just an example. And then it encoding the message. The next element is process is that the encoding the information to the transmitter. एक system होगा वहाँ पे encoding enable thought to be put in form of symbols. ओके क्या बोलना चाहिए वही हम लोगों का सोच, वो नॉइज़ के हिसाब से वो बाहर आएगा, राइट? नॉर्मली लैंग्वेज प्रोवाइड्स अ सिंबल दैट आर यूज्ड इन द ट्रांसमिशन ऑफ थॉट टू बी अदर पर्सन. हाउएवर, लैंग्वेज इज नॉट द ओनली मीन्स टू कन्वे द थॉट्स, नीड्स और information. There are non-verbal means also there, gestures are there, which provide another form through which thought can be transmitted. The more complex idea, needs or information to be communicated, the more complex become the process of encoding them. Okay, while the involuntary shriek may adequately convey the degree of alarm felt by the victim, even a carefully worded statement or letter may fail to convey the essential purpose of communication, right? So encoding of the thought produce a message which can be either verbal or non-verbal. Verbal message is in the form of words and language, while non-verbal would be in the form of body gestures like wink, smile, grunt, frown, waves of hand, etc., etc. Okay. Then there is a channel is there. The next element in the process of communication is the channel through which the communication is transmitted. It is the link that join the sender and receiver. Okay, यही होगा medium, that is a channel. The most commonly used channel is sight or sound. ओके, नॉइस के थ्रू हम लोग मैसेज भेजते हैं, बोलते हैं. In the organizational environment, the channel could take the form of face-to-face conversation, written memo is there, telephonic exchange, group meeting, etc., etc. Okay, outside the organization, the channel could be letter or circulars, magazines, radio program or TV show, etc. For communication to be effective to the channel used should be appropriate for the message as well as the receiver. For an urgent message, mobile, telephone or mail would be appropriate channel. Again, the channel chosen would be influenced by the consideration as to whom the message is being directed. And then it decode. Decoding the and understanding the message constituted the last two elements in the process of communication from sender to receiver. The receiver in the first instance received the message and decode it. Okay. That is to say, interpret and translate it into thoughts, understanding, and desired response. A successful communication occurs when the receiver decodes the message and attaches a meaning to it which very nearly approximates the idea, thoughts, or information the sender wishes to transmit. Okay, that is about decoding the message. Fields of experience model is there. And next is feedback, that is response. Response and feedback completely the two-way process of communication. It is through the feedback that the source, that is sender, come to know if the message was correctly received and understood. In case it is found that the message has been received incorrectly, it is possible to make a correction subsequently if response is timely. Sender's effort to communicate are aimed at eliciting the desired response. However, the communication may result in producing any of the three outcomes. A desired change may occur, an undesired change may occur, or no change may take place. We consider communication as successful only when it produces the desired response. The noise is there. Surrounding the entire spectrum of communication is the noise that affect the accuracy and fidelity of the message communicated. Noise is any factor that disturb, confuses, or otherwise interferes with the communication. It can arise at any stage in the communication process. The sender may not be able to encode the message properly or may not be properly audible. The message may get distorted by other sound in the environment. The receiver may not hear the message or comprehend it in a manner not entirely intended by the sender of the message. The channel also may create a interference by the filtering, allowing some information to pass through and disallowing the others. Okay, so noise also very important. If here I am recording this video, okay, if it's not audible or any kind of disturbances, then you can't interpret what I am seeing here. Okay, right, that's about the correct noise module. Okay, होना चाहिए communication में. So that's about today's session, and the next session on 11 unit we will discuss on next video. Okay, then that's about today. Thank you.